Hello, and welcome to Straight Talk about PTSD. My name is Dr. Andrew J. A.J. Williams. I am a licensed PhD psychologist with 35 years of experience seeing clients and 33 plus years specializing in trauma, attachment issues which generally arise from early environmental and relationship trauma, and addictions. I have well over 40,000 total hours in assessing, diagnosing, and treating trauma in settings from Child Protective Services to a private clinic, to a trauma-focused private practice, to the clinical directorship of a family-oriented child sexual abuse treatment program, to an addictions and trauma residential treatment facility, to running addictions and trauma recovery programs in a women's facility at the Federal Bureau of Prisons, to the Army and the VA. My youngest client so far was 18 months old, and my oldest was 97. I have now worked with people from 89 different countries so far. I also have over 1,600 clock hours of postdoctoral continuing education either taken or provided. I've averaged about 400 to 600 research abstracts, journal articles, and books annually, as I've never felt as if I knew enough about the various forms of traumatic experience, post-traumatic adaptation, and their treatment. Frankly, I've also done so much reading and continuing education because I've generally been quite dissatisfied with what was available theoretically and clinically. I am currently a strategic advisor to Project Healing Heroes, and there is a more complete professional biography about me on their website. I want to make it clear that the content of any presentation I create and post on Straight Talk about PTSD is a combination of research findings, theory, and clinical experience. I try to be fair and respectful to all concerned, but for me, the bottom line truth is what my clients have shared with me and taught me over the years about the reality of experienced life-changing traumatic events and circumstances, and how they've adapted in order to survive the world described by their traumatic memories. Similarly, what I say about trauma treatment is generally research-informed, but essentially it's what I've actually seen be effective in alleviating the aftermath of trauma. Straight Talk about PTSD is not underwritten by any insurance company, special interest group, academic institution, corporation, research project, or government agencies. I take no grant monies from any source, and I do not represent any professional group, theoretical camp, professional association, or society. That makes me free to give you what I believe is honest, straight talk about PTSD and its treatment. Straight Talk about PTSD presentations are for those suffering from the memories and effects of difficult early circumstances and from trauma at any age. Our presentations are also for those who care about others with post-traumatic issues and for those who work with them. Trauma and the memories created from it at any stage of life have the potential to alter every aspect of a human being's existence, from their genetic code to their physical health, to their capacity to trust themselves, trust others, and trust the world. It also affects their potentials to fall prey to addictions as a way of coping with emotional and physical pain. It also affects developing identity and sexuality. Significant, and especially significant and repetitive trauma, will generally touch every realm of life, inner and outer. Because of the power of trauma to affect so many different aspects of a human being's life, PTSD and similar post-traumatic adaptations can create a rather complicated life and clinical picture. But I believe there are some basic concepts and ideas which can be very useful in explaining what is happening and what can be done about it in life and in psychotherapy so that you or your loved one can get the most out of treatment and the most out of life. My first 3 Straight Talk About PTSD presentations will first cover my essential understanding of trauma. Then I'll cover its effects. And finally, I'll cover what I believe to be the most effective and comprehensive treatment regimen for freeing afflicted persons from the effects of trauma and common post-traumatic adaptations. The first thing I want to cover is how trauma becomes memory and memory affects adaptations. First, experience becomes memory. Our life experiences are converted into memories. They're written into our brains. And this begins before birth, usually around the middle of the 2nd trimester of pregnancy. Experiences become memories even if many of these memories live forever outside our conscious awareness, or these memories lack our personal approval to live in our heads at all. Experience becoming living memory is automatic. It is not a choice. Now, new memories are stored and organized according to their similarities to existing memories. Similar events, things that feel alike, smell alike, look or sound alike, all become stored, interconnected together in a memory network in your brain. Also, what is learned first, what we know first in life or about a particular subject or type of experience, serves as the foundation and the framework for how we perceive, store, organize, and interpret present and future experience. Earlier and more foundational memories help determine what we notice and how we react to or interpret new experiences. And memory is the knowledge we use to figure out each new moment of our lives and decide how we should respond. But not all memories are created or later become equal in strength and influence. When our brains create a memory out of an emotionally or physically intense or unpleasant experience, the intensity and the stress chemistry we experience in that moment will be at the core of the memory created. And this stress chemistry will profoundly influence how much power and energy that memory will hold internally. Now, any given memory or set of similar interconnected memories is made stronger when the same or similar experiences are intense to begin with or they're repetitive. Think of it, if you would, as pencil marks on a blank white page. There's 2 ways to get a nice bold mark that stands out well from the background. One is repetition, over and over and over and over again. And sooner or later, it'll become a nice, bold, strong line that's easy to see and recognize. The other option is intensity. Dig in with the pencil and pull down hard. That'll make a nice, bold mark that'll be easily seen, stand out from the background. Now, of course, if you put the 2 together, you have the strongest memories of all, the ones that are repetitive and intense. Now, once it's stored, a living memory will be automatically triggered or activated by similar stimuli, meaning similar emotions, sights, sounds, smells, associated thoughts, etc. in the present. And by repetition with each activation, these memories will be strengthened. And so will other memories which are interconnected or networked with a specific triggered memory. With this similarity-based activation of interconnected memories, that means that everything you know about a particular type of experience, trauma, or object, dogs, or situation like angry yelling, will be activated simultaneously, and that information will be available to you all at once, even if that's only at the unconscious level. Now, once activated, memories and their emotions and physical states mix with the sensations belonging to the present experience. Therefore, each present moment of our lives is both experienced and then stored as a mixed product of past and present. There is no such thing as simply leaving the past behind or not allowing it to affect us. While I admire that intention and respect that desire, especially when we're talking about an actively post-traumatically adapted brain and a person with a significant trauma history, it's still pure wishful thinking. Traumatic experiences are experiences where our own or someone we observe's safety or survival are subjectively threatened. By subjectively, that means that it does not matter what an objective jury would say or somebody else might have experienced. It only matters what you did at the time. Now, these supercharged traumatic experiences are then written into the brain as supercharged memories in order to help us create safety and survive by keeping us more aware of and making us extra sensitive to future similar dangers. Even if only unconsciously, following significant trauma, we will think about trauma. We will keep trauma in the forefront of our minds in order to quickly recognize it, prepare for it if it shows up, so that we can master it or avoid it, and survive it. Now, many of our memories, especially the earliest and most traumatic ones, are held primarily and in their rawest form in what some people refer to as the low-road brain. The low-road brain is a set of deep brain structures which are primitive, survival-focused, fast-responding, and generally unconscious. The low-road brain, on the whole, is about surviving. It's about sensing and reacting, not stopping and thinking. It's about feeling safe, about surviving. It's not about being emotionally vulnerable or building loving, compassionate relationships. The low-road brain is also, and especially in times of crisis and in chronic PTSD, basically beyond the direct influence of words and rational thoughts. That's a very important thought when we start to talk about treatment. Mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are specialized neurons in the brain which respond to and record what we witness in the environment, and also respond to and record the emotions and behavior of others. Mirror neurons allow us to feel what others are feeling and to learn from what happens to them. Mirror neurons activate when something is first observed and are strengthened when this initial mirror neuron stored memory is later triggered or activated, or when the behavior we've observed and recorded is then imitated by us. That's the old see it, do it, and learn it paradigm. Our mirror neurons activate when we observe people and things outside of us and allows us to experience what others feel, which means that mirror neurons serve as the basis for emotional connection and compassion. Mirror neurons also store witnessed experiences almost as powerfully as if they were our own. And this helps us build a more comprehensive memory picture of the world than we could if only our personal direct experience was noticed or recorded. And just by the way, The elevated stress chemistry of the long-term hyperarousal of the wound-up component PTSD tends to particularly disrupt the areas of the brain in which mirror neurons are most dense. That means that people with chronically post-traumatically adapted brains may not actually experience the expected levels of emotional understanding and connection with others, or feel compassion for the suffering of others as we, and often they, think they should. It also means that people with chronic PTSD and similar conditions may not learn effectively from what happens to other people. The bottom line is that memory, written into the brain from direct and from witnessed experiences, helps guide us to survive in, deal with, and adapt to the world that we have actually experienced. Situations come and go, but memory remains behind as a living map of our world to guide our adaptation. And again, those adaptations range from changes in the human genome itself, that is our individual genetic makeup and our DNA, to emotional and behavioral reactions, to attractions or repulsions to other people or certain behaviors. Memory informs and guides adaptation. Individual human beings adapt to living memory, with an emphasis on the most powerful memories living in our individual brains. I have hoped that you found this presentation from Straight Talk About PTSD both intriguing and informative. Our next Straight Talk About PTSD presentation will cover the range of adaptations which are natural consequences of traumatic experiences and the powerful memories created from them. Following that presentation will be our third orientation presentation outlining what I believe are the most effective means of treating post-traumatic adaptations. If you'd like to subscribe to Straight Talk About PTSD, which I would encourage you to do, just press the subscribe button below. If you wish to be notified when future Straight Talk About PTSD presentations are posted, just put your cursor over the bell icon and click. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.